Don't you know where you belong? I'm gonna tell you something, and I won't be polite when I say it, because being polite comforts you, and being comfortable prevents you from noticing. You know where you don't belong. Even if you don't put it into words, you feel it when you sit in that room, when you drink coffee at that table, even when you laugh with those people. There's a quiet voice inside you, a very old voice. Am I really here? Do I exist? And this voice has been following you for so long, you don't even hear it anymore. You just live with its consequences. But have you ever asked yourself this? You know where you don't belong. You already feel it. So why have you never understood why you don't belong? I'm not leaving this question half-finished now, because its answer is different from what you expect. Most people find an excuse for this. I'm in the wrong city. I'm surrounded by the wrong people. I have the wrong job. And these reasons aren't wrong, but they aren't exactly right either, because you changed that city. You changed those people. You changed that job, and the feeling didn't go away. Maybe it looked a little different. Maybe it was a little lighter, but it was there. It was always there. If this feeling originates from you, why are you running away from understanding it? I'm leaving this question half-finished too. We'll be back shortly. This time you'll feel differently. But first, I need to show you something. That discomfort you've felt until now is no coincidence. Wherever you go, you take yourself with you, and you are still someone you do not know. Did that sound harsh? Wait, we're going deeper. I'm gonna make you a claim. There are two ways, and this claim, 1, will either make you very uncomfortable. 2, or you'll say to yourself, how does anyone know this? Here's the claim. You have never truly experienced belonging. Those moments you thought were belonging weren't belonging. They were not being rejected. There's a world of difference between these two. Not being rejected is temporary safety, but belonging is settling in, and you have never settled in. You were always ready to leave, or you were always waiting for someone to send you away. Either way, your suitcase was always ready in your mind. You never opened your suitcase. Slowly zoom in. Now, let's go somewhere together. Do you remember that night? The night you came back from a meeting, or from a gathering with friends, or just from that long workday. You entered the house. You turned on the light, and for a moment you fell silent. What did you feel in that silence? Was it relief, or did that feel empty too? Most people don't want to hear this question, because its answer tells them something. If you don't feel like you're home when you come home, then where is home? Now imagine this. If you were to build yourself a home, a real home, not its walls, not its belongings, how it makes you feel inside. You enter through the door. The light isn't on, but it's not dark either. Daylight, the earliest hour of the morning, as if the world hasn't woken up yet. Only you exist. The floor is wooden, creaks slightly when you step. This sound doesn't bother you, because this sound is yours. The kitchen is small, but everything is in its place. A tea glass on the table, still warm, as if you just placed it there, or someone placed it there thinking of you. In the living room, an armchair, just for you. When you sit down, something small inside you relaxes. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to be anything. There's a bookshelf on the wall. The books aren't neatly lined up. They look like books that have been read. Their spines are worn. Their pages are dog-eared. Someone has truly read these. That someone is you. In one corner, a small desk. There's nothing on it, but that desk feels like it's waiting for something, to create something, to leave something behind. The bedroom is simple. A window. Morning sun comes in. There are no curtains, or there are if you want. This is your home. You make the rules, and in this home, no one is waiting for you, but you don't feel like anything is missing. When was the last time you felt this feeling? We asked this earlier. If this feeling originates from you, why are you running away from understanding it? Here's the answer. Because understanding means you have to change, and changing means leaving behind what's familiar. You've grown accustomed to familiar pain. Familiar pain is at least known, but belonging is a risk every time, because you might belong, and then you might lose it, and losing is the oldest pain you already know. But have you ever considered this? What if never belonging isn't the solution to the fear of loss? What if it's the opposite? What if never belonging is loss itself? I'm leaving this question open now, but I want it kept in a corner of your mind. Now I'm going to tell you 3 things, and all 3 will be uncomfortable and revealing. Are you ready? 1. You stopped being yourself in order not to be rejected. Maybe you didn't notice, but it happened gradually. Swallowing a sentence, hiding a reaction, withdrawing an idea, and each time you became a little smaller. 2. You tied belonging to someone else's approval. If they accept me, I belong. If they love me, I belong. If they understand me, I belong. And when that approval was withdrawn, belonging was withdrawn too. Every single time. 3. You are more afraid of building a home within yourself than of being rejected elsewhere. Because if you go inside, you don't know what you'll find there. And not knowing is sometimes scarier than knowing. We asked at the beginning, why couldn't you understand why you don't belong? Here's the mechanism. There are 3 reasons. In each one, you'll see yourself. Reason 1, you learned belonging as a performance. When you were little, you noticed something. When you did certain things, you were seen. When you did certain things, you were loved. When you did certain things, you were accepted. And that equation became ingrained in you. So deeply ingrained, you're not even aware of it anymore. Seen. You're in an environment. Everyone is talking. You want to say something too. Just as you're about to speak, something stops you. What would these people think? And that moment passes, and you remain silent, and the meeting ends. And on your way home, you think about that thing you didn't say. You're not thinking about speaking. You're thinking about how it will be received every single time. Reason 2, you define yourself by context. What does that mean? The you at work, the you in your family, the you with friends. You're different in all of these. That's normal. But when you're alone, you don't know who you are. Seen. A long weekend, no one around, no plans. The first few hours are fine. Then something begins. A subtle, insidious anxiety. You look at your phone. You watch things. You eat things. That anxiety doesn't go away. It's just covered up. You're not running away from being alone. You're running away from being alone with yourself. Reason 3, you keep postponing turning inward. First, let my work get sorted out. First, let my relationship settle. First, let me solve this. And then something else comes up and you postpone it again. Seen. Someone asks you, how are you really? You pause for a second. Something passes through you. The real answer is there. But you, I'm fine. Busy. You even postpone asking yourself the question. It's not just in one area. Relationships. You get close to someone. Maybe this person will give me that feeling of home. And for a while, it feels that way because someone sees you, but that person lives their own life and you feel alone again, even when you're next to them, because home wasn't from them, but you projected it onto them, waited for it from them. Career. You start a job. Maybe this is my place. Success comes. You're recognized. But after every success, did I really deserve this? Do I really fit in here? That question never ends because success from the outside doesn't fill the void inside. Family. You're at the family table. Everyone has known each other for years. You are a part of them. But sometimes, while sitting at that table, you think, do these people really know me? Or do they know who they expect me to be? Self-talk. You wake up in the morning. A voice starts in your head. A very old voice. Same cycle again. Same you again. And you don't argue with this voice because that voice has known you longer than anyone. You need to make an important decision. And you ask everyone, because you don't trust your own answer. That's also that voice's doing. Wait a second. You've been watching this video from the beginning. That says something. Most people don't ask these questions because they already know where they are, or they think they do. But you ask without hesitation, without finding answers. But you ask. And this questioning is the most honest thing I know about you. But now, here's an uncomfortable truth. Searching can also become a habit. I don't belong anywhere anyway. This sentence starts as an observation. Then it becomes an identity. And once it becomes an identity, letting it go feels like losing yourself. And you start protecting that identity. Now I'm going to tell you the heaviest thing. You don't allow belonging. You don't actively reject it, but you prevent it from entering. When people get close, you create distance. Unconsciously, but you create it. When you're about to settle somewhere, you find something there. Something that bothers you. And by holding on to that thing, you say, this isn't my place. This isn't self-sabotage. This is a protection mechanism. Because if you belong, you might lose it. And losing is the oldest pain you've already experienced. But never belonging doesn't come from loss. It comes from never starting. And never starting feels safe because disappointment is already familiar. But belonging is always a door opening to the unknown. Return to that house. Enter through the door. Wooden floor. Daylight.
Warmte.
That house exists. It always existed, but you looked for it outside. In cities, in people, in jobs, in approvals. And every time you found it, after a while you lost it again. Because that house isn't in someone else's hands. That house is inside you. But going inside is the hardest thing. Because inside, there is someone you haven't met yet. And you haven't visited them for a very long time. And that person is waiting for you patiently. We asked this earlier. What if never belonging is loss itself? Now you know the answer. Rejecting belonging didn't protect you from pain. It just shaped the pain into something else. Loneliness, emptiness, that silent question, where am I? We asked at the beginning, you know where you don't belong. So why couldn't you understand why you don't belong? Now you know, because you learned belonging as a performance, because you defined yourself by context, because you keep postponing turning inward. And these three things left you outside your own home. Now I ask you the final question. You don't have to answer this question, but you already know the answer, and knowing is enough. If you were to build that house, what would be the first thing you put in it? This answer tells you what you need most. Know this. One more thing. When you build this house, you won't be the first one to enter. The first to enter will be the voice that judges you most harshly, and you don't yet know what to do with it, but that is another matter.